What happens when a society gets, well, a little too comfortable? When its spark is gone, replaced by this lukewarm, predictable stability. Today, we're diving into a really powerful parable about a world that's fallen asleep and the storm that comes to wake it up. And this isn't a gentle nudge, it's a full-on reckoning. Right off the bat, this sentence just sets a powerful stage. We're not talking about some gentle savior here. Nope. This is about a catalyst, an agent of change whose whole purpose is to shatter a false peace and force a confrontation with everything that's been buried, everything that's been repressed for way too long. So our story kicks off in a sleeping valley. And you can just picture it, a world that's become predictable, safe, and completely stagnant. It's a place that traded its shot at greatness for a quiet, unendingly gray kind of stability. And the people who live here? They're called the last men. It's this idea of a society that's just forgotten its own fire. They've chosen the safety of the predictable over the danger and excitement of real vitality, repressing their own potential so deeply that they probably don't even know it's gone. And that is the core problem at the heart of our story. So, what's holding this whole world together? A force called the spirit of gravity. Think of it like the ultimate status quo, right? It's this heavy blanket of conformity that just pulls everything down, stops any new or vibrant idea from taking flight, and makes absolutely sure that every single day is just like the last. But into this gray world comes our first agent of change, and it's not a warrior, not a politician, it's a jester. The Harlequin jester descending from the mountains like a storm of pure intellectual and, well, aesthetic disruption. He's described as an aesthetic antenna. And what a brilliant metaphor, right? He's someone who can receive and broadcast these new frequencies of thought and art, all the frequencies that the Valley has deliberately and completely shut out. So how does he do it? He doesn't use weapons. He uses symbols. He uses energy. He brings a storm of rewilding, with his red and blue diamonds flashing like lightning against all that gray. His main tool is laughter, but it isn't frivolous. It's a laughter that honors the abyss, cracking the very foundations of their solemn little world. He is a twilight force, kind of existing between worlds, and with every single step, he fractures that heavy spirit of gravity. But here's the thing. The jester is only one half of the story. While he's working on the outside, a second force is waking up from within. This is the Wolfman, and he represents a deep biological and spiritual transformation, a descent into the primal soul. The Wolfman is called the atavistic sovereign, and this title is absolutely crucial. He's a king, but not of a nation. He's a king of a forgotten ancestral past. His authority comes from something deep, something ancient, and totally instinctual. So, what is atavism exactly? Well, it's the reemergence of traits from a really distant ancestor. But here, it's not physical. It's all about reawakening a primal spirit, that wild, foundational self that's been buried under centuries of comfortable civilization. It's the wolf inside, finally remembering it's a wolf. And where does this awakening happen? Not in the public marketplace, like with the jester. No, he goes to the uncanny forest. And this isn't just a place. It's a psychic, biological landscape. A furnace that's designed to burn away everything superficial and forge a totally new kind of being, like a beast god reclaiming its territory. The Wolfman's journey is this incredibly visceral process. He enters the furnace and he confronts the apparitions of his own soul, not with debate, not with logic, but with things, literally shredding the illusions of his own history. He awakens his wild spirit, and he digests truth not as ideas to be written down, but as raw energy to be stored in his muscles. When he emerges, he's totally transformed, a living covenant of spirit and flesh. So now we've got these two incredibly powerful figures, the Jester and the Wolfman. And even though they move separately, their actions are not isolated at all. The Jester is like the antenna for the primal frequency that the Wolfman is busy refining in the shadows. They're working in tandem, creating this converging force that's about to shatter the old world. This slide just lays out the contrast perfectly. Look at their methods. The Jester uses laughter and ideas. The Wolfman uses fangs and pure will. One operates externally, out in the marketplace, while the other is internal, in the forest. One has a psychic impact, the other has a biological one. And maybe most importantly, they represent a pincer movement, not just in space, but in time. The Jester is pulling from the future, while the Wolfman is pulling from the prehistoric past. And this is the combined effect, a psychic pincer attack. It's such a perfect description. That stagnant society of the last man is literally being squeezed between the future and the prehistoric, the external and the internal. There is absolutely no escape from this kind of pressure. This coordinated yet totally unspoken attack brings the story to its climax. We're not just watching a protest or a revolution here, we are witnessing a grand reckoning of the spirit itself, the end of an era. And here is maybe the most crucial point of the whole ending. The old world doesn't fall to war or violence. The walls of the marketplace, they just crumble. And they crumble because they're being pulled down by this irresistible, revitalized life force. A power that has faced its own darkness, its own abyss, and emerged so much stronger for having integrated it. The final image we're left with is just extraordinary. The transformation is complete. The barrier between civilization and nature, it's just dissolved. A wild forest is now growing in the heart of the city, a symbol of a rewilding so deep and so profound that no man-made law, no spirit of gravity can ever contain it again. And with that, the parable delivers its final definitive statement. The sounds of these two figures, the intellectual chime of the jester and the primal howl of the wolf, they signal something much bigger than the fall of a city. They signal the end of an entire era. So that's where we're left. If the age of the last man is truly over, what comes next? The parable doesn't tell us. It leaves us right here, at the dawn of a new, wild, and totally unknown world, forcing us to imagine for ourselves what's going to rise from the ashes.